Well, thank you for joining us today on this VCast into the multiverse. For everybody watching, as we know, sometimes there's technical difficulties in here, but that's going to be okay. We're going to stream right through it. You've joined us today. This is every 2 weeks here in the multiverse campus room that you're in right now. And if you're watching this out on Web 2, cool. I'd encourage you to come join us in the Infiniverse and see it inside of there. So let's kind of kick off with our guest today. Steve, you want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you work and all of that.
What's up, Infiniverse? I'm Steve. I am the head of marketing for an influencer agency known as The Social Standard. So, Jay, thank you for having me on this VChat. As you know, we partnered with you guys to have the very first influencer marketing agency in the Infiniverse, which is super exciting. Love to see what you guys are building in there and want to invite everyone that's out there walking around to come check us out.
Amazing, thank you. And Rob, you want to introduce yourself today to our viewers?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm Robert Francis. I'm an influencer and I do UGC content for companies.
Excellent. Well, tell me a little bit, Rob. I want to dig in more, right? So I don't have that many influencer friends. I think you are probably the first.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So tell me about your followers and like what you're doing out there in different channels in the space.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started in comedy. That was like my domain where I kind of laid ground. And that's where I built a lot of my following up. And now I'm kind of curtailing that into travel, more lifestyle, and also just building a brand out in UGC content and starting to just really delve into how companies and individuals can grow their own labels through UGC content. So experiencing all different social platforms. To be said, I grew on TikTok first. Now I'm expanding everywhere.
Awesome. So TikTok was your first go, like your first big go after the comedy or with the comedy.
With the comedy, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's that's
Well,
where really the attention was grabbed on
and
that
then
platform.
Stephen, tell me a little bit about the relationship then between Social Standard as a company, Rob as an influencer. A lot of people don't really understand how that works. I know a lot of entrepreneurs with small businesses here in the virtual reality Infiniverse would love to connect with you and say, hey, how do we get our influencers looking for our brand?
It's a great
Yeah,
question. Wait, I'm
you
gonna take
can
this
go.
one.
You can go.
I'm
You
gonna, I'm
can
gonna
go.
take
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one, Robert. So, what the Social Standard does is we connect some of the biggest brands in the world: Adobe, Hinge, Stellantis Group, which is Fiat, Chrysler, Jeep, and more, with different influencers like Mr. Robert here. So, let's say they have a new car that they're looking to release towards a Gen Z audience.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would look for someone that has a big following within that age demographics. And Rob's content, which is very funny and youthful and Gen Z focused, would be a perfect influencer for us to activate on a campaign. So we're always scouting different platforms, whether that be TikTok, Instagram, and now YouTube Shorts for different creators that are blowing up that could really be a good fit for brands.
All right. So, and let me understand just a little more how this works. So, if I'm an entrepreneur and I just open up a storefront next to VetX here in the Infiniverse, and I also have my Web 2 presence out there, and I come to the Social Standard with my product, you're going to help me find somebody that might push my product if they believe in it, right?
Exactly. So our store is located in the Infiniverse as well. You can come in, check out our case studies. We have them all over the walls. We have a welcome video telling you a little bit more about our services, and it's a really simple process. All you have to do is go through our contact us page, and from there, fill out a little bit of information about yourself and your brand. And we're going to have our creative director, who's also an influencer, give you a strategy on where we think that you guys can fit in.
Amazing. It's amazing that the world is changing so fast. And you had the vision to come into virtual reality. And Rob, we were just talking a little bit off reel about what that future crystal ball is. I mean, the influencer market, what, 15 years going strong? I mean, really in strength, and it's Web 2. And as you said, Gen Z, we have Gen A coming up next, right? 13-year-olds right now, like what they will be demanding, what products they will be consuming, that sort of impact generation that wants to really make a change in the world. And Steve, you came into virtual reality thinking, wow, this is really the next space of the crystal ball. Rob, what do you think about that?
I think we can we're starting to see that already. Maybe not necessarily in exclusively VR, like everyone is paying attention in VR, but like VTubers, so virtual reality YouTubers, are an extremely quickly growing population of YouTubers.
Mhm.
And we were actually, again, you were saying, we were talking about it, that you can stream content into the virtual reality world. So people who are getting bonuses or getting checks from, say, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, they can literally just double profit on that, where you can be putting it into the virtual reality world while still
Mhm.
posting on, the web, the normal web.
Yeah, I'm excited for that time that on YouTube you can like, there's always a like button, but in virtual reality very soon, if you can build an object that you put into a barrel that it's all
Yeah.
3D, right? So instead of just hitting a like button, you're interacting with your preferences.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be pretty amazing. And Rob, I hope that we definitely see you around in virtual reality, hitting some different spaces too. So out of curiosity, how many followers do you have?
So I have around 500,000 on my main platform, and then yeah, a couple 100,000 off.
That's incredible. And I know that you're one of many that the social standard turns to for different products. What's your favorite product to promote and just be a part of? Because a lot of the time, I know you worked on an Adobe campaign, but a lot of the time it's really not only just that you're an influencer, but it's your brand of the things you like to talk about and promote.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you were saying, Adobe Premiere Pro, I edit almost everything in Premiere Pro. It's very friendly with like heavier files, which a lot of like actually virtual reality like OBS files are going to be these like kind of heavier files just in nature. Same if you're
Hmm.
going off your headset.
Hmm.
But I really liked working on them. I just finished a campaign with FIFA, and I really enjoyed that one just because it gives me the opportunity to kind of flex my UGC skills out of that comedy realm
Yeah.
and explore something a little more different. And that is, I mean, you're already seeing it with these bigger corporations of like kind of leaning into that animated style of VR of everything. It's a changing industry.
So have you been invited into the Comedy Central place in the Infiniverse? The joke club?
Not yet. Hey, you got to invite me now.
Oh man, you gotta come do a live event there. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm
Or
in.
actually, come do the live event out of the Social Standard store, so people can head over there.
Hey,
So,
even better.
Steve, if I gave you a crystal ball or a blue sky whiteboard, blue whiteboard, uh, what would you see in virtual reality? I mean, creatively, what do you think's coming next for this type of brand marketing, young people really turning towards this engaging technology? What would you see next? What do you think is coming next?
There's a lot to dive into there. So
Hmm.
first and foremost, I just read something online. It's actually on marketingdive.com. There's a little
Hmm.
plug for them, talking about how metaverses are a must for Gen Z brands. So
Hmm.
if you are a Gen Z focused brand, if you do not have a metaverse presence, you're going to be left behind. I'm pretty sure, everyone and their children will be on the metaverse in the near future. So the crystal ball says that this is where we need to be.
Yeah, yeah,
Moving forward, it's just more about making sure that you have your platform set up correctly. The
mhm.
fact that the reason why I really wanted to make the partnership from the jump is that it was so user friendly to go from experiencing something firsthand to then actually being able to request more information or even virtual shopping, which is where I think things are going to be headed.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think so too. And before this live event today, you were able to put out a deep link and invite people via social media. And it brings you right into the virtual reality environment by clicking on it. So anybody that's watching this out there with YouTube or any of the other places, think about this. That when you put that link out there, you're inviting people into a new 3D world, totally different than any type of marketing before. And I'm excited. You know, we're in the education space at VetX. And when we first met you, Stephen, you were really had these ideas for driving the social standard into virtual reality. I was pretty excited because many universities are out here trying to gather students to their brand. I mean, if you think of all the universities, that their brand being their research that they're churning out, their departments, and trying to drive that recruitment. And so that's a tiny little section of that next gen marketing that we're pretty excited to work with you on. And how about you, Rob? If you think about virtual reality in that crystal ball, what do you see more of?
It's interesting. Actually, kind of pulling back into the conversation that we were having earlier, where it doesn't have necessarily a like button,
Mm-hmm.
but you have the presence of the individual, right? So if a room can hold, I don't know, like 200, 300, 500 users, um, that's that's something interesting to explore, where I could see in the future an influencer, an event, or doing whatever. You literally see the people that you are interacting with. And I think that is something that's extremely rewarding for influencers, since they're literally just numbers, kind of your fans. You get comments, you get likes, you get whatever, right? But you don't really have an interaction. You don't have that next level of personality in, you don't really interact with the people that you make content for every day. And I think that's very interesting, where you're going to be able to like fill a room full of people and interact with them.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty amazing, and if you can imagine it, we can do it. That's sort of what we tell schools with VetX. If you can imagine it, we can do it
Yeah.
when we partner up. I also think if I were to take a crystal ball looking forward, I have two things that just seem to be persistent in my head, and one is right now you accumulate likes, right? You thumbs up, you get fans, you get followers, right? But if you take the Infiniverse, imagine like a pyramid that builds up as it is filled with your followers. So your building grows in this city, right? Because the followers coming in is growing this building. Every time you follow, another, small little section is added to this pyramid. And so your pyramid, being 500,000 people, be pretty large in the Infiniverse right now. So yeah, I see that's one part. The other part I see, and I think this is so important. And Ready Player Me, I hope you're watching this. So this is your little plug. You've done such an amazing. They've done such an amazing job of building an avatar that goes across many apps. And I see if there really is a metaverse that's forming, it's horizontal. It's not vertical. It's not your Horizon avatar that can only go into meta approved apps.
Right.
It is an avatar on the blockchain that can go cruising around different worlds, right? It can jump
Oh, that's
into the
interesting.
Infiniverse. It can jump over here, and it does accumulate followers. That avatar, you, accumulates both followers, a social score, and because it's on some sort of blockchain technology, could carry your crypto wallet with it across all apps. And I think this is what consistently is in my mind. And I think that's the place. That's where we're going. And if we can all sort of set our vision on that and help direct it before big vertical companies step in. I mean, we're pioneers. You're pioneers. You're pioneers for being in here. One of the first influencer companies to come into the space. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on from all the education stuff in VR that we've done.
Something else I wanted to say, what really also attracted me to the platform is that you can have those in-person meetings in a virtual space. So even if if you're sending emails back and forth, it's going to be slow. It's going to be kind of like arduous. But hey, let's hop in and let's have a chat in the room real quick. All of a sudden, you really feel like you're building rapport with somebody. It's authentic and it's fun.
Mhm.
So all of those reasons made me really a big fan of what VetX is doing, how the Infiniverse platform is set up. I'm working on getting my citizenship right now. So
Nice.
can't
Nice.
wait for that. In case things don't work out here in the US, I could just live
Just jump in the Infiniverse. And for all of you watching that after this live event, for all of you that are going to see this out in YouTube and different places, the Infiniverse is a one-of-a-kind city. There's other virtual reality cities and platforms out there. The Infiniverse exists on the standalone headset. It is dynamic. It is the size of San Francisco digitally. It has 250,000 plus users, 450,000, I think, up to there. Over 400 storefronts, 150 businesses already. I know just from the education district, we've built up, dozens of schools inside of the education district and other XR education companies with their storefronts already. So it's great because it just launched in January. I mean, all of that between January and now, I mean, this thing's going to take off. So if there's a link here in the chat after this video that's going to take you a deep link into the social standard store. So that's your key into the Infiniverse. And then after that, you can become a citizen in there instead of just a guest. Requires you to buy an apartment. And on that note, Rob, I hereby promise you a building for all of your followers at some time in the near future. I will let you know. But for all of you watching, you'll have to just come in and come in again and again to see if you can join Rob's first ever influencer. Maybe we'll put it in the social standard above the social standard store. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
All
Please
to be determined,
come.
huh?
neighbors.
Neighbors.
Thank you.
Neighbors. All right, Rob.
Yeah. No, and listen, and on the Social Standard blog, if you don't believe in comedy influencers, we have a whole blog piece relating LOLs to ROI. So check it out. You'll see that making people laugh.
LOL to ROI. I think you said it right there. That's why you should come jump in and check out the Social Standard and see what we got to offer in the education district. So, all right, guys, thank you. I think we're just about out of time here. Appreciate the time that you put in today to come and to see us here in virtual reality in the Infiniverse. And for all of you watching after this event, come check it out. Click the link below. And we're here every 2 weeks in the Infiniverse giving these VCasts. I think this is number 32 today. So come watch the other ones. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.